Okay, next is derivatives of inverse trigo functions. So, meron tayong derivative of arcsine, which is du over square root of 1 minus u squared. Binigyan ko lang ng highlight yung derivative ng inverse sine, inverse secant, at saka inverse tangent. Kasi ang derivative ng arcotangent ay negative lang ng derivative ng arctangent. Ang cosecant, negative lang ng derivative ng arcsecant. Ang arccosine, negative lang ng derivative ng arcsine. So, I'll just give you an emphasis dito sa reds na to kasi negative lang naman siya nung isa. So, derivative of arcsine or sine inverse u. So, pwede natin siyang as derivative of arcsine of u. So, arcsine of u is inverse sine u is du over square root of 1 minus u squared. So, whatever function, mapa-function, or mapa-variable ito, kukunin ko lang ang derivative niya, tapos square root of 1 minus, square mo lang yun na yun. So, for arcsecant, that's du over u square root of u square minus 1. For arctangent, du over 1 plus u square. So, for arccosine, so kukunin mo lang ang negative derivative ng arcsine. So, negative, i-negate mo lang siya. Negate para sa arccosine, negate para sa arccosecant, and put a negative here para sa arcotangent functions. So, yun lang ang i-memorize, yung tatlo. Kasi alam mo naman na negative lang siya nung kanyang cofunction. So, let us try to apply the formulas na nakasulat dyan. Or, we have here, example number 1, y is equal to arctangent 3x. In that case, arctangent u. So, arctan u. So, this represents your u. That's 3x. So, ang sabi sa formula, ang derivative ng arctan is du over 1 plus u squared. So, if u is 3x, so if that represents your u, so this is simply y prime is derivative of 3x over 1 plus 3x raised to the second power. So, du, so derivative of 3x over 1 plus 3x quantity square. So, that gives you this one. So, but derivative of 3x is 3. So, this is 3 over 1 plus 3 squared, 9, x squared, x squared. So, this is 9x squared. Common mistake, ang ini-square lang nila. So, this is common mistake ha. Sana hindi na ma-encounter ng iba. So, minsan, ang sagot nila ay derivative ng 3x ay 3 over 1 plus 3x squared. So, this is common mistake. Hindi na ini-square yung 3. In fact, dapat yung 3 naka-raise din sa second power. So, this is wrong. So, dapat 3 squared x squared. So, 9x squared siya. So, this is just a common mistake. So, dapat yung entire function ay i-raise mo sa second power. So, that's why it becomes 9x squared. So, next example here is arccosine. So, di ba, ang sabi natin, pag arccosine, it is just the negative derivative ng arcsine. So, but the derivative of arcsine is du over square root of 1 minus u squared. So, this gives you y prime equal to negative derivative of 1 minus x over the square root of 1 minus x raised to the second power. So, I just need to get the derivative of 1 minus x, which is negative 1, preceded by a negative that gives you positive. So, this gives you positive 1 over the square root of 1 minus 2x plus x squared. So, you just have to expand this 1 minus x raised to the second power. So, using a minus b raised to the second power is square of the first minus twice the product of the two plus square of the second. So, this gives you 1 minus twice of 1 and x is negative 2x plus the square of x is x squared. So, this gives you y prime 1 over the square root of 1 minus distributing that negative. So, that's 1 minus 1 minus and minus 2x is plus 2x. Minus and plus is minus x squared. So, therefore, y prime here is equal to 1 over the square root of 2x minus x squared. So, okay na to. So, baka you might ask, pwede bang hindi na i-rationalize? Sa akin, okay na. Pero, syempre, meron ding ibang prof na gusto naka-rationalize. Pero sa akin, it's okay na 1 over square root of 2x minus x squared. Baka kasi magkamali pa. So, okay na to. So, for number 3, we have our cosecant of the square root of x. So, again, our cosecant is just the negative derivative of arcsecant. But the derivative of arcsecant is derivative ng arcsecant u is du over u square root of u square minus 1. So, since our cosecant ito, lalagyan lang natin ng negative. So, y prime is negative derivative of u. What's your u? Square root of x. So, square root of x over square root of x square root of square root of x raised to the second power minus 1. So, what is the derivative of square root of x? Meron tayong formula that the derivative of square root of u is du over 2 square root of u. So, if this is a square root of x, that is simply derivative of x, which is 1 over 2 square root of x. So, y prime here is negative quantity, derivative square root of u, square root of x. So, derivative of x is 1 over 2 square root of x. So, that's the derivative of your numerator. Over square root of x times the square root of x squared, or square root of x raised to the second power is x minus 1. So, simplifying this gives you y prime is equal to 1 over 2x square root of x minus 1. So, kasi, di ba, ang ginawa rito, magiging siyang negative 1 over 2 square root of x times the reciprocal. So, di ba may over 1 yon? So, magiging 1 over square root of x times the square root of x minus 1. So, as you can see, if I'm going to multiply this, oh, I forgot the negative sign. So, negative here. So, the answer is that. So, if I'm going to multiply 2 times the square root of x times the square root of x is x. So, square root of x minus 1. So, negative 1 over 2x square root of x minus 1 is our answer. So, meron tayong, so for number 4, we have y is equal to arcsine 4x raised to the second power. So, this be the derivative of u to the n is n u to the n minus 1 times the derivative of u. So, your u represents arcsine 4x to the second power. So, that represents your n. So, y prime here, using that general power formula, your n is 2. So, 2. Your u is arcsine of 4x. 2 minus 1. So, that's n minus 1. So, 2 minus 1 times the derivative of u. So, times the derivative of arcsine of 4x. But the derivative of arcsine is du over the square root of 1 minus u squared. So, y prime here is 2 arcsine 4x. 2 minus 1 is 1. So, times the derivative of 4x over the square root of 1 minus 4x squared. So, again, you are to raise 4x raised to the second power, not x to the second power. So, it should be 4x quantity squared. So, your y prime here is 2 arcsine of 4x times the quantity 4, derivative of 4x is 4, over the square root of 1 minus 16x squared. So, 4 squared is 16, x raised to the second power. So, that's 16x squared. So, your y prime therefore here is 8 arcsine 4x. 2 times 4 is 8 arcsine 4x. By the way, meron rin minsan gumagawa, you are minumultiply yung 8 dun sa 4, so magiging arcsine 32x. Hindi pwede yun, ha? So, it's a no-no. So, you just have to multiply the numerical coefficient and that constant there. So, your y prime here is 8 arcsine 4x over the square root of 1 minus 16x squared. So, this is our answer. So, again, you need not to rationalize. Kasi baka magkamali pa. So, we have example number 5 and 6. This is arcsine x over square root of 4, x squared plus 4. So, in this case, ito na magiging komplikado na tayo. So, ito na yung magiging u. So, that's du over the square root of 1 minus u squared. Kasi arcsine siya. So, ang u mo is this one. So, using the formula, y prime is derivative of x over square root of x squared plus 4 over the square root of 1 minus x over square root of x squared plus 4 square. So, ang kailangan ko muna kunin ay derivative nung x over square root of x squared plus 4. So, if I'm going to take the derivative of x over square root of x squared plus 4, yun yung ilalagay ko sa aking numerator. So, in this case, this is derivative of a quotient. So, gagamit tayo ng quotient rule. So, x squared plus 4 raised to the second power. So, remember, ang formula natin ng quotient rule, u over v is v du minus u dv over v squared. So, this is v squared, square root of x squared plus 4 raised to the second power. So, times v multiplied by du. So, your v is square root of x squared plus 4 times 1 minus u. So, that's minus x times the derivative of v du minus u dv. So, ang v ko ay square root of x squared plus 4. So, again, gagamit tayo ng derivative of square root of u. So, meron tayong formula, derivative of square root of u is du over 2 square root of u. In this case, meron akong square root of x squared plus 4. So, ang numerator ko lang, para makuha ko roon derivative, no, numerator ko lang is derivative ng radicand. So, derivative ng x squared plus 4 is 2x over 2 square root of that radicand, x squared plus 4. Over the square root of x squared plus 4 raised to the second power. So, simplifying, so your numerator, that 2 divided by 2 cancels out. So, meron ako ritong x squared over square root of x squared plus 4 na ang LCD niya ay yung square root of x squared plus 4. So, magkakaroon ako dito ng square root of x squared plus 4. So, this LCD divided by 1. So, di ba meron ako ritong denominator na 1. So, this LCD divided by 1 is square root of x squared plus 4 times square root of x squared plus 4. That is x squared plus 4. So, this LCD square root of x squared plus 4 divided by square root of x squared plus 4 is 1 times negative x times x is negative x squared over x squared plus 4. Kasi yung square root na i-raise to second power, cancel ang radical. So, your derivative ni x over square root of x squared plus 4 is now equal to, this x squared cancels out. So, magiging lang siyang 4 over x squared plus 4 raised to 3 halves. Kasi di ba meron ulit itong over 1. So, imumultiply ko to sa reciprocal ng x squared plus 4. So, magyayari 4 times 1, reciprocal kasi. So, that's 4. Square root of x squared plus 4, tsaka x squared plus 4, di ba merong exponent na 1, ito may exponent na 1 half, you are adding exponent. So, 1 plus 1 half is 3 halves. So, this is your numerator dun. So, substituting this there, so your y prime now here is equal to that derivative of x over square root of x squared plus 4 is this one. So, meron ako dyang 4 over x squared plus 4 raised to 3 halves. That's your numerator. All over the square root of 1 minus x squared. So, you have to square both over x squared plus 4. So, as you can see, ito na naman ay dissimilar, or isang whole number tsaka isang fraction, pwede natin gamitan ng LCD ulit. So, that's 4 over x squared plus 4 raised to 3 halves over the square root of, ang LCD ay x squared plus 4. So, this x squared plus 4 may over 1 is x squared plus 4 times 1 is x squared plus 4 minus x squared. So, that yung x squared magka-cancel ulit. Kasi x squared minus x squared cancels out. So, ang mangyayari, magiging 4 over x squared plus 4 raised to 3 halves over, ang natira rito sa tababa ay 4, square root nun ay 2, over square root of x squared plus 4. So again, meron ako ritong complex fraction. So i-multiply ko to sa reciprocal nito. So ang mangyayari, y prime is 4 over x squared plus 4 raised to 3 halves times the reciprocal, that's x squared plus 4 raised to 1 half. Kasi di ba yung square root raised to 1 half yan, reciprocal over 2. So, ang mangyayari kay 4, makakancel. Magiging 2. May makakancel kasi you are subtracting exponent. 1 half minus 3 halves is negative 1. So, mananatili yung nasa baba yung x squared plus 4. So, therefore, you have here as your final answer as 2 over x squared plus 4. Wow! Yeah. So, y prime is that. 2 over x squared plus 4. Alright. Number 6, we have y is equal to x squared to 4 minus x squared plus 4 arcsine x over 2. So, yung first term ko dito is a product. So, gagamit ako ulit ng udv plus vdu. Then, simply, arcsine x over 2 lang to. So, gagamitan ko lang siya ng du over square root of 1 minus u squared. So, gamit ang derivative of a product. So, this is x times the derivative of 4 minus x squared square root plus square root of 4 minus x squared times the derivative of x plus 4 derivative ni arcsine. So, this is derivative of a product, udv plus vdu. So, your y prime here is x, derivative of square root of u ulit. So, derivative ni 4 minus x squared is negative 2x over 2 square root of 4 minus x squared plus square root of 4 minus x squared times the derivative of x is 1 plus 4 times the quantity derivative of x over 2 over the square root of 1 minus x over 2 raised to the second power. So this gives you y prime is negative x squared over square root of 4 minus x squared because that 2 cancels out. So negative x times x is negative x squared over 4 minus x squared square root. That cancels out. You have plus square root of 4 minus x squared plus 4 times the quantity 1 half over the square root of 1 minus x squared over 4. So, this is derivative of x over 2 is 1 half. Derivative, x over 2 raised to the second power is x squared over 4. So, simplifying this denominator first. So, magiging, ang LCD mo ay 4. So, y prime there is negative x squared over square root of 4 minus x squared plus square root of 4 minus x squared plus 2 because 4 times 1 half is 2 over that denominator na ang LCD natin ay 4. So, may over 1. 4 divided by 1 is 4 times 1 is 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1 times x squared is negative x squared. So, that gives you y prime is equal to negative x squared over square root of 4 minus x squared plus square root of 4 minus x squared plus ang square root ng 4 ay 2. So, i-multiply ko tong 2 sa reciprocal nun. So, ang square root ng 4 ay 2. Ta-times ko sa 2 kasi reciprocal nga. So, magiging 4 over square root of 4 minus x squared. So, as you can see, pwede na natin i-combine itong dalawa. So, magiging y prime is 4 minus x squared over square root of 4 minus x squared plus square root of 4 minus x squared. So, since similar yung fraction, I can combine this numerator 4 minus x squared. Ito yun, over 4 minus x squared plus 4 minus x squared. But, ito merong exponent na 1. Ito may exponent na 1 half. So, di ba, pagka of same base, you are just subtracting exponent. So, your y prime here is 4 minus x squared raised to 1 half na lang plus square root of 4 minus x squared. So, your y prime here is 2 square root of 4 minus x squared. Because you can combine the two. So, that's your answer for example number 6. Okay. What if we have y is equal to arctangent x over 2 plus arctangent 2 over x. So, again, ang formula natin ng arctangent ay du over 1 plus u square. So, ang u natin ay x over 2. So, ang y prime, ang ating y prime ay derivative ng x over 2 over 1 plus x over 2 squared plus derivative ni 2 over x over 1 plus 2 over x squared. So, ang gagamitin nating formula para makuha ang derivative nito is, di ba meron tayong k over v? So, that's negative k dv over v squared. So, ang derivative ng x over 2 ay 1 half over 1 plus x squared plus 4 plus, that's negative k, so negative 2. Derivative ng x, which is 1, over v squared, which is x squared, over 1 plus 4 over x squared. So, this now gives you y prime is 1 half over, LCD is 4, so this is 4 plus x squared. This is plus times minus is 2 over x squared over LCD is x squared. You have x squared plus 4 as LCD. Ay, x squared is LCD, so magiging x squared plus 4 yon. So, this now gives you y prime is equal to 1 half times 4 over 4 plus x squared. So, multiply this by the reciprocal of the denominator. Minus 2 over x squared times x squared over x squared plus 4. This naman multiply by the reciprocal of your denominator. So, your y prime here is 2 over 4 plus x squared. Because 4 divided by 2, this is 4. Is 2 over 4 plus x squared. So, this x squared cancels out, minus 2 over x squared plus 4. So, your y prime here is equal to 0. So, therefore, this sum is simply a constant. Arctangent x over 2 plus arctangent 2 over x is just a constant because its derivative is 0. So, number 8, y is equal to x over arctangent x. Find the slope at x is equal to 1. So, you just have to solve for the first derivative, and since the slope is the first derivative at that particular value of x. So, I'll just get the first derivative. So, since quotient siya, gagamit ako ulit ng v du minus u dv over v squared. So, ang v natin is arctangent of x raised to the second power. So, this is v arctangent of x times derivative of x minus u times the derivative of arctangent of x. So, y prime here is equal to arctangent of x times the derivative of x is 1. So, times 1 minus x times the derivative of arctangent of x is derivative ni x is 1 over 1 plus x squared all over arctangent of x raised to the second power. So, pwede namang hindi na natin siya i-simplify, pero kasi ang constant naman ang sagot natin kasi isa-substitute natin yung value ng x na given over arctangent of x raised to the second power. So, di ba ang sabi, find the slope at x is equal to 1. So, the slope at x is equal to 1, m is y prime at that particular value. So, substitute lang natin, arctangent 1 minus 1 over 1 plus 1 square. So, substituting 1 dun sa lahat ng x over arctangent of 1 raised to the second power. So, arctangent 1 is 45 degrees. So, that's pi over 4 in radian minus 1 over 4 over 1 over pi over 4 raised to the second power. So, sorry. It should be 1/2. Because 1 plus 1 squared is just 2. So, simplify muna natin yung numerator. Ang LCD ay 4. You have pi minus 2. So, over pi squared over 16. So, your slope there is pi minus 2 over 4 times 16 over pi squared. So, your slope here is therefore equal to, that 16 cancels out, may matitirang 4. So, that's 4 times pi minus 2 over pi squared. So, that therefore is your slope at that particular value of x, which is 1. And that ends our discussion with regards to derivatives of inverse trigo functions.